everyone, this is Gayle. Again, I am filming this while I am at convention. Or not filming it, I'm posting it. But when you're seeing this video, I will be at convention. So I'm sure I'm having a wonderful time, but I just want to let you know I do think about you guys. So I've kind of been on a bug theme here lately. I made my little bee charm, and I made a ladybug charm. It's not baked yet, but I wanted to show you my ladybug, my little ladybug charm, but it's not baked, so I can't do much with him yet. And I got to thinking of what other kind of bug that I could make, and I thought about a little caterpillar, because I think caterpillars are fascinating. For one, as aggravating as they can be when they're in your trees and they get all over everything and they eat your flowers and plants, some of them are really cute. And so this is sort of a cutesy type butterfly. Well, it would be a butterfly eventually. I'm not sure if I've got enough of this green clay. This is Primo, just green. And you can see it's just a nice green color. And then I have Primo white. And what I want to do is cut some, I've got my Kemper cutters. This is not my largest circle cutter. This one I think is 5/8. I have another one that I believe is 1 inch. But I'm not going to use that one because I don't need a lot of clay for but what I want to do is make some gradient colors of this green. So I figured if I could get however many circles I can get out of this green. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. I thought I could get 6, but I've only gotten 5. Let me see if I can roll this through the pasta machine really quick and get one more little ball of green out of here. So there's 6. So this one is going to have 6 little lobes. And what I want to do is make a progressively darker shade of green. I want to mix it with white. So I'm thinking I would start, actually that's not even my smallest cutter. This is my smallest cutter. It's about 1/8 of an inch. And I may start with that. Let me start and see how that does. And see, that clay got stuck up in my cutter. It's got a little plunger that pushes it out. So I really like these. But let me mix this with a green and see what color I get. And since it's such a small amount of clay, I'm not going to do this on the pasta machine. It just makes no sense. But it will take me a little bit longer to blend these colors by hand, but it won't take too long, and if need be, I'll just fast forward. Let me just see what difference this color makes in the shade of green, because this is very little clay, so it shouldn't take much. I don't see any streaks. Let me see if it's made a difference. It softened it a little bit. That's what I wanted to do, was soften it. So I'm going to use that as my darkest color, which means it's going to be the head. And then I'm going to go with the next size white. Let me do it this way. Then I'll go the next size white. This one didn't stick. And the next size. Let's see how far I can go. So maybe this is going to be as light as I go. All right, let's see what we've got. And I'll condition these, but I will fast forward so you don't have to watch all of it. Okay, that took me 5 minutes and 1 second to blend all these colors. So you see, it doesn't take a long time, even though I did speed it up for you so you wouldn't have to spend 5 minutes watching me blend clay. But now what I want to do is I want to go ahead and I'm going to roll this on the thickest setting of my pasta machine, only because I want to get it all the same thickness. So I'm just going to roll each little block through my pasta machine, trying to keep it in the same orientation. I keep forgetting I have that manual button, which makes it much easier for these small quantities, because I never do anything with small quantities. It's not quite as loud. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to put away my largest. I'm going to maybe stick with this size and cut ahead. Let me see what size this is, what this is going to look like when it's rolled into a ball, because I may, oh, that's going to be plenty big. And try to make it kind of round. Doesn't have to be perfect. But I'm going to, since I used that one for the head, I'm going to use the next size for a couple of these. And then I'm going to go down a size for 2. And then down another size for the little tail. Alright, and all I'm going to do is roll these into balls. Now these will be a little bit smaller than the head. And I don't know that caterpillars' heads are larger than their body. But my caterpillar is going to be his head's going to be a little bit larger than the rest of his body. And I'm just going to line them up. These are going to be a little bit smaller, but you know, caterpillars are a little bit narrower as you get down towards the end. Kind of looks like a row of peas, doesn't it? But this is going to be a charm, so you want it small. And these may still be too large for a charm, but let me see what I can do. Anyway, so now I'm going to start putting these together. And I'm going to try to make them not totally round, but it also helps them stick together a little bit better to just kind of press them. And see if I can get this to do what I want it to do. Maybe this needs to come up just a little bit. What I want is a little hump in his back, because caterpillars aren't straight. Is this too big for a charm? Let's just smush it in a little bit. Let me cut just a little bit off of this one. I'll have to get that clay out by hand. And one good thing about clay, you can just take it apart and start over again, because I wanted this one the one next to his head to kind of go up a little bit and flat, and then go up a little bit and flat. Maybe if I flatten them out before, that's working better. But these are already together. Let me see how this works. And you know what? I can use one of these cutters as a base to get the curve going. Maybe even one smaller than that. Okay. Now we're going to make two little eyes. And I think I'll just use a toothpick. So let's put two little eyes on here. I think I'll go give my caterpillar a little mouth. Something about caterpillars. And all I'm going to do is take one of my circle cutters. And I'll take this one because it's got a little bit more of a curve. And I'm just going to cut into it like that. Can you see the little mouth I gave him? And I've still got some of that gold clay from the little honeybee that I made. And I'm going to cut two little pieces of clay. I love keeping scrap clay on my table because you never know, when you just need a little tiny piece, they come in so handy. That's probably enough for both. You don't need much. These little circles end up being bigger than you think they are. And put that in that eye. And this one in this eye. He's got personality already. Let me put a little dent in the center of his eyes. And now what I'm going to do is I've got this pinky color that I blended for something. Like I said, I'm using scrap. And I'm going to just mush this a little bit. It's already been conditioned once, so it doesn't need to be conditioned again. But I just want to mix it to make sure that, first off, that it's warm. And also that it will be, if there's any of the plasticizer that's kind of settled in one place, it'll get smeared. And I'm going to put this through my pasta machine on a number 3. I'm going to use my little cutter, and I'm going to cut a bunch of little circles. And I hope this doesn't look stupid. I guess I'll find out when I finish. And I don't have any idea how many I need, so I'm just going to cut a bunch. If I need more, I'll cut more. Alright, so I used my tiniest little Kemper cutter, but you can use anything. You can just pinch off clay. But I thought I would make little, I know they don't have legs, but they have these little things that are at the bottom of their body that, I guess they're sort of like legs. It helps them crawl. And then these may even be too big. I think they are. Let me cut these in half. So you're seeing me create as I go, because I don't like to, unless it's a really complicated tutorial, I would rather just do it as I go. That way I only have one of something. The bad thing is if I mess up, I've messed up. I'm just cutting these little circles in half to make them a little bit smaller. Now let's see how these look. Because this is pretty, he's not as little as I'd like him to be. Oh yeah, that's going to work much better. So let me put these little tiny balls down here, and these are the little things, the little legs or whatever it is that you see caterpillars have that help them crawl along the ground. I've never really thought about it. I was just trying to think of a way to add some color to this little guy. Go around on this side. Because I'll put some smaller ones down towards the bottom. But I think he's going to be a cute little charm. But I was thinking I've got the ladybug and the bee and now a caterpillar. So you could make some leaves and or some little flowers and hang these all on a, you know, just make, if you have a flower cane, cut your cane into a thick slice and just bake it. So you have the flower. I should stop talking and pay more attention to what I'm doing here. Let me see if I can find some of these little smaller pieces for the back. This one's really small, so I'll put that one on the very tail end. Okay, so I need two. I need one sort of small and one really small. There's a really small. And here's a sort of small. How do you like the way I measure? Actually, I think the sort of small is smaller than the other one. So I'm going to use that one there and this one here. And I've got a fingernail print in his back. But you know, that's something else. Let's see. What have I got tiny? Let me do this. But I'll use a larger one. Let me just put some little marks down his back rather than adding color to it. Well, I don't know about you, but I think he is adorable. And let me put some kind of little, I'm going to do the eye pin thing. Where you take the eye pin and you bend it. See the little eye pin? And you bend it. And then you bend it back. And that makes a little jagged thing. It's probably going to be too long, so I'm going to bend it one more time. That you can put into your clay. It's still going to be too long. I'm going to have to cut this off a little bit. I'll tell you what, let me bend it first. Probably should have done this part ahead of time, because I need to get this bent back so it'll be straight. You can even make a little hook. Anything to keep it from being perfectly straight. So it'll grab inside. I think that's still going to be too long. Got a little piece of pink clay right there. Maybe I would do better on this one. To use a head pin. So he's got a little flat head on it. And what I'm going to do is push it up from the bottom. And then I'll bake it, and after it's baked, I'll make a little loop in the end of that to make something to pin it by. But there you go. There's my little caterpillar. Is he not cute? You see it without my fingers being on it. So that's 3 bugs. If you can think of any other bugs, let me know. I'm trying to think of some other kind of bug that I can make a small little charm with, because I'm thinking a garden themed bracelet would be really cute for someone that gardens, or someone that works, like my niece works at a nursery. She's nursery manager somewhere, and she would probably love having all these little bugs on a bracelet. So I hope you like this. I am having a wonderful time at convention, even though when I film this, I'm not there yet. I just know I'm going to have an awesome time. And I will see you when I get back. Hope everyone has a great week, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.